my live that I'm going to do monthly. I put that in my newsletter yesterday because, frankly, what's interesting is that you guys have asked for it. So I was looking through the survey um, this week, last week also. And a lot of people have asked to do more lives and said, oh, we really would like to have more lives like this. And hi, Lisa, how are you? I'm happy to see you. Lisa, hopefully we'll get together sooner rather than later to talk more. But I think that what I've wanted to do is to be more human and also not have, the podcast is nice to have and to be very polished, but sometimes we need to do the unpolished stuff and the hesitation and everything else. So a few things has happened. We're going to do this monthly, last Friday of the month. I put in my newsletter, and I want to talk about other stuff. Like, you want to be part of my newsletter? Let me know. Send me a direct message here. We're both on YouTube right now and on Instagram, and it's going to be saved on Instagram and YouTube, so you can go watch it. And really, my YouTube channel is something else that I really want you guys to go to. What's going to happen with the YouTube channel is actually very, very exciting. So for the first time, I did an individual session. Like, I do one recordings that I do on my own. And what I did is I recorded it like yesterday, and that's for episode 92, maybe 93. I can't remember. But you're going to actually it's going to be released live on YouTube and on my podcast. And you can see what it looks like, polished versus unpolished, because I have a great editor that really helps me. I'd love you guys to also kind of like tell me what you want to hear, because I can't believe it, but about 10 weeks away, it will be my 100th episode. I've actually done a little more than 100 episodes, but some of them were like, the preview and the 12 days of Christmas. So I'm looking forward to having that. This is kind of like the supplement that's going to happen every month. And I'm hoping that you guys end up um, joining these more regularly. I know it takes a while to build an audience. We all know that. Definitely takes a while to build the audience through a podcast. It's going to be the same thing with the live, but the more I do it, hopefully you guys show up. But yes, if you have ideas for the podcast, I have a few ideas myself, what I want to do. The survey, it was interesting because my clients who did the survey, they have a separate one than the social media one. My clients said that I should have my friends on that know me best and have an episode with that. Um, and then my social media folks wanted me to have like former guests, which one like that, may have enjoyed their situation with me and all that. So they wanted that to happen. So I turned to my live audience right now, and also kind of like when you see the repeat, please do. Um, and hi Jay. I think that what you can tell me what you want. It's interesting because I've been working hard to get a very special guest. A couple of people have been contacted. Um, and you guys are like, yeah, that's not interesting. It actually was the lowest, the second lowest, the highest one the lowest being, where is it? This one would be a live episode, which was the lowest. So hopefully we can get this. Going to be live. It's going to happen every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And I don't think that doing the 100 show live would be good, but maybe I can stream a little bit of it at the same time so you guys can join me and let me know what you think. Always enjoy having feedback for that, but not thinking of doing that right now. The other thing too is I started doing TikTok, and I really enjoy being on TikTok, um, doing these little silly things. I put a lot of my podcast stuff on there. Um, and yesterday I decided to brave and do something. So if you want to go check it out, Real Steve Biso, or as I joke around, I call it Real Steve Biso. It annoys some people. So I like that when it annoys people. Um, so if you want to go check that out, you can go ahead. That's the same thing as my Instagram. If you're here, you obviously know that. If not, you know it now. Go see my YouTube channel. It's FYWTT, or Finding Your Way Through Therapy. How clever is that? Um, and I definitely would like to hear from you guys what you think. As far as the other thing that came out of the survey, which was interesting, is that people talk to me a lot about wanting a course on mental health, and not a course mental health for therapists, but just a regular course on mental health. Just like, what is mental health about? What does it look like? What do you think about it? And there's nothing specific per se in regards to that, but I'm wondering, if that would make sense for people. So I would love to hear from you guys if you enjoy um, hearing from that. I do think that having, courses for mental health for not necessarily therapists, but for clients and understand because I think that that's what people want to know. I think that that would be great. So that way they can look for maybe what they want or what they've struggled as to going to therapy and stuff like that. So I know that I have a few colleagues of mine and that do a great job in regards to that. They really do a good job at doing courses for online CUs, whether it's their podcast, whether it's a separate thing. And Lisa Mustard is great at that. So if you want to go see her, she's amazing. But I hope I can do that. I really think that it would be interesting to see what we want. And it might be also helpful, like instead of doing it like a course for the therapist, maybe what therapists talk about in, private. Because the other thing too that we don't tend to really try to show is that we're humans too, right? And sometimes therapists are too human, if that makes any sense. And then some therapists are not human enough. And my goal is going to be to make sure that people get to see the human side. So there was a thought for me on that. Would love to hear a little bit of what you think about that. But otherwise, you know, other stuff that people have talked about is like I'm a practicing Buddhist. I love doing Buddhism stuff, but a lot of people are like, oh, how do we make it reachable? Because some people feel overwhelmed. Might be something I could do too. And obviously, I'm listening. I see a few people who are on here. Like a couple of therapists that came on that I really know well, and maybe one of these lives I can do something with two therapists, me and another therapist, and we can just have a conversation. Wonder if that's of interest for people. So that would be it. Um, Next week I'm having a short week. I'm going to go on a trip. I'm going to go see a couple of hockey games with my kids, and we're looking forward to that. And obviously it's nice to get out of the Northeast right after what looks like there's going to be a storm on Tuesday here, and so get out somewhere where it's a little warmer, so I don't have to worry about so much of the cold. So looking forward to that and just having some time off. I love my work. I truly enjoy my work. I also know that sometimes I'm burnt, and call it vicarious trauma, call it anything you want, frankly. But ultimately, what we do as therapists, in any form, there's a little bit of vicarious trauma that occurs, and we did choose that. One of the arguments that I've heard is, "Well, you chose that." I don't know if I chose to be vicariously traumatized by other people. I've chosen to try to help people the best I can, but I don't remember going, "Hey, you know what? I should be vicariously traumatized." It's a little bit of the argument that I hear sometimes in regards to police officers. Well, they chose that job. Yeah, they didn't choose to be treated like crap. And yes, I go back to what I'm going to hear anyway in the comments here, either now or later. Well, Steve, there's, some cops are not good. You're right, but there's therapists that are terrible too. And whatever job you're in, there's going to be like 5% that just suck. And so we either look at it that way and make sure that people are always feeling like crap, or we start looking at it as, what can we do for vicarious trauma? For me, I learned that last year the hard way. And taking time off right now is going to be key, but also kind of like walking away from stuff too, in regards to, um, my podcast is well recorded for next month. Um, my posts for social media are pretty much set up for a couple of weeks at least, and it's learning to be okay with doing that and not having to be involved. So hopefully, that would be of interest for people. I hope it would be, and if it's not, let me know. But otherwise, I do hope everyone has a great weekend. Um, talk, and I hope that you guys have any plans. I don't know, like I know a lot of people I know have plans, watching their kids play blank sport, whether it's basketball, volleyball, and people who do indoor soccer, and if you're in the South, any other sport, right? Because it's nice enough. So hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I know my weekend is going to be finishing up the planning of the trip and really enjoying my kids. I hadn't seen my kids for a week. It was school vacation this week on the Northeast. So my kids ended up with their mom. This is just a deal we have. I get them for April this year, which is great. But miss my kids, so hopefully do some things with them and enjoy my time with them. So, hopefully you guys have a great weekend and, talk to you in a month, but please leave messages. Tell me what you thought about this. If you wanna be, on the newsletter, go check out my TikTok, go check out my, write me a note about ideas for guests, ideas for the 100th episode, and maybe the courses of mental health that you're looking for. But I hope everyone's doing great, and I will talk to you soon.